Not late. I was here at 7 o'clock. Not late.
Patrick was technically not late, but he kept everybody waiting. And then I, of course, had technical issues. But here we are. What's up, everybody? My name is Mario Vitanzi. That handsome bastard, of course, is Patrick Chiotti. And these are my victory sunglasses that will not be staying on for very long because I will not be able to see any of the comments from you beautiful people. Patrick, the Broncos finally got their first win, but we are not satisfied, and we'll tell you why. This is Altitude Adjustment.
Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up.
First question, Carter wants to know if I'm going to vlog every game. Not every game, Carter. I will try my best to vlog the games that I go to, or the road trips at least that I go to. If you're not sure what Carter is talking about, I traveled out to Tampa Bay because in case some of you don't know, I travel with some of the Bronco players. I work on them during away games, stay at the team hotel, make sure that their bodies are ready, and go ahead and save your Deshaun Watson jokes. I've heard it all. They're stale. Come up with something new, or don't say anything at all. I plan on doing another vlog this weekend in New York. If you want to check that out, it's on the Let's Talk Broncos YouTube page. I'm not sure what it's called, but it has my beautiful face plastered over the thumbnail. So, Pat, let's just get into it. And the chat is already saying, Luke Wattenberg, look away. And I think that's the perfect way to start this show because, Pat, anybody familiar with this show, and even if you're not, I'm just going to get it out there, we are Alex Forsyth fans. I'm an Alex Forsyth fan by extension because you sold me on Alex Forsyth. You warned us about Luke Wattenberg. And even though the offensive line played well, Alex Popchevsky, or I don't know how we decided we were going to pronounce his name. Tyler Bidet doesn't really know how he's going to pronounce his name either, but we'll get to him later. This is the best the offensive line has looked, and granted, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were bit by the injury bug a little bit. Thank God that they didn't have to go up against Vita Vea because we actually might have seen a dead body in Luke Wattenberg. So, Pat, dive right into it. Even though the Broncos won 26-7, even though Bo Nix looks like he has arrived, what is giving you cause for concern in terms of Luke Wattenberg's game and the rest of this offensive line?
Well, I mean, this is just basics going forward. Like, we've been wondering why the run game has been so shit for the last 3 weeks. And I'll be honest, like, I'm not the person to talk about this, right?
It's been shit because we need a bidet to clean up the shit.
Patrick Chiotti is not the person to talk about this. We got to get Coach Pat in here.
Oh, I love when Coach Pat makes an appearance. Everybody stand by as we wait for Coach Pat to make his second appearance in a row. Coach Pat, we desperately need your insight into what is happening with the Broncos offensive line, namely Luke Wattenberg.
Well, look, he's just getting his shit pushed in, plain and simple. This run game has so much potential. I mean, they're calling good schemes. We've seen lots of duo. It's great, and it would work if our goddamn center could figure out how to push a guy. I mean, it's ridiculous. That has been the biggest issue over the first 3 weeks is we're just not getting the push that we need. And
so how does he fix that? Like, let's go ahead and simplify it. Give us the building blocks of what needs to happen.
So first of all, this is his third season in the NFL. That means he has had 3 off seasons to work on stuff. He has had 3 off seasons to get bigger, get stronger. He came in as a guard center hybrid. And it's showing, I remember his first action. Actually, I was at that game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I remember thinking, okay, injuries suck, but let's get Wattenberg in. Kid's a rookie, right? First play, Chris Jones tosses him with one arm like he's a goddamn ragdoll. And I thought,
it is Chris Jones.
Okay, it's Chris Jones. But then Netani Moody comes in, and he handles Chris Jones like a man.
Oh, and that's a name, man. I'm missing Netani Moody so much.
And I thought to myself, this guy stinks. Wattenberg, he stinks. And so, rookie year, I'll let it pass. Another year goes by, doesn't get a ton of playing time here and there, whatever. But this season, you get the chance to be a starting center. You know, going into this offseason, you're competing for the starting job.
And it was his job to lose.
It was his job to lose. And he won it fair and square. But the problem to me, Mario, it boils down to two things. This is either a genetics issue where he's just not strong enough, or it's a weight room issue and this dude just can't figure out how to get stronger. And I'm not going to put a ton of money on the first one. I'm going to put a ton of money on the second one. You, as a offensive lineman in the NFL, brother, get in the weight room. You cannot be like, bro, if Greg Gaines, love Greg Gaines, he's a dog, literally. He's a dog. But he and I are about the same height. He and I are about the same height. He stood him up numerous times. Fuck you.
Very short for a defensive lineman.
That shit should not be happening. You should not be getting pushed back that bad in the run game
by a third string D tackle, Pat.
Okay, relax.
No, I'm saying like it can't happen.
Yeah, and then
it still can't happen.
The clip that I posted where he's just getting slapped down. This, like, it's all over his tape. I've had I can't tell you how many people have been in my mentions on Twitter talking about, Lloyd Cushenberry did the same. No, Lloyd Cushenberry did not get embarrassed like this.
He never got pushed around like that.
He missed his assignments for sure, but his tape is just not good, y'all. Like, I'm sorry, it's gonna sound like I'm hating, but please go see for yourself. Multiple missed assignments at the second level. There's clips of him in the Tampa Bay game shaking his head because he knows he fucked up.
And it's real quick about Lloyd Cushenberry, Pat. It's like, this is a guy that progressively improved and got better and better every year. Hence why the Titans gave him the amount of money that they did. You just mentioned that Wattenberg is in his third year. Was it not Cushenberry's third year that things really started to click? And granted, he had been the starter and he had that play time, but it doesn't matter. Like, if you're in the NFL and you're the starter, you have to be ready to go. And he's made it abundantly clear, Pat. He's just not ready right now. No, I find it very hard to believe that he is their best option at center.
Like, Alex Forsythe can't be much worse than this, right? Like, it can't be much worse. Let's see what it brings. Looking.
Is there any advantage to the familiarity that Bo Nix has with Alex Forsythe? Because should that be a consideration at all?
Yeah. So this is actually a really good point, and something that I noticed, and if Frankie is watching, he's going to get so mad at me for saying this. But something that I noticed a few times when watching over this game, when they're in shotgun and Bo is getting the ball, that ball is coming out here. It should be right here, right now.
Front and center.
He's grabbing it out here. And go back and watch the other two games, because I did. And you know what I found? I found snaps that were outside. What does that do?
It's hard to find the laces as a quarterback.
That fucks up timing.
As a 7-time flag football champion that I quarterbacked, I can tell you that receiving a bad snap makes it infinitely more difficult to find the laces and throw a good pass. Yeah, 7-time champion, Pat.
And I love
it's something that you overcome, but it's better to have a good snap.
Yeah, but
am I being relatable enough?
Yes, that is that is such a minute thing that like people really wouldn't think about it, but like it
You
makes
gloss
a big
over it.
difference. And when you like, if you're going to go with a guy who is familiar with your quarterback, that relationship is going to be so much better. It also boils down to protection calls. There was a play, Frankie posted it, talking about Bo Nix no looking a pass. And on that play, our buddy Alex Palczewski, I found it. Palczewski. It looks like he just doesn't know who he's getting. And Bucks have a free rusher coming right at Bo Nix's face, pause, and Bo kind of has to rush his throw to Sutton. Was it no look? It doesn't really matter. It was incomplete. But the fact of the matter is, whose job is it to call out protections? Anyone?
Either the quarterback or the center.
It is the center. It is the center's job in this offense to call out protection. Now, the quarterback can change protections, but the center at the end of the day is the one who is telling the other four motherfuckers, hey, you got here, I got here, you take there. All right, hey, we're good. Okay. And on this particular play, you see Palczewski look outside. Dude is coming right by him, and he doesn't know what to do. That's a center problem. So call me crazy, call me a hater, call me whatever you want. I'm just using my eyeballs and using my brain. See that? It's just
looks like Pat won a few championships as well.
It's just
it's almost as though we know our shit. Here's the thing, man, and you're absolutely right. Will we see a change? I mean, God, he's got Quinnen Williams this week. You and I talked earlier on the phone, and I was really scared for the potential Vita Vea matchup, and we didn't see it.
Yeah,
I'm more scared of this Quinnen Williams matchup than I would have been with Vita Vea. And Vea is a dog, right? Yeah. But Quinnen Williams is like on his own planet right now. This could be a situation where it could cost the Broncos the game if Wattenberg continues to play the way that he does. Now, for all of the grief that we are giving Wattenberg, okay, something that is even more disconcerting to me right now, because with a guy like Wattenberg, you expect some struggles. Not as many as he's had, but there are going to be some growing pains. What's really starting to worry me, Pat,
he's a third-year
is
pro.
The play at left tackle. Yeah. The play at left tackle is really starting to worry me.
Yeah.
And I'm, of course, talking about Garrett Bowles, to the point where Palczewski played so well that I don't think it's that far of a stretch to eventually move McGlinchey to left tackle where he played in college. Like, I think the majority of the games that he played at Notre Dame, he was actually at left tackle. We went to the pros. The Niners switched him to right. I don't think that he's played left in the NFL. Maybe he's gotten a few snaps here and there, but he's largely been a right tackle. But, man, I know you have the whenever you can post it, go ahead and pull it up. The best play of the game to see was the Bo Nix 22-yard scramble. But simultaneously, it was a terrible play because on that play, Garrett Bowles gets beat immediately off the snap. That makes it a terrible play. What made it such a fantastic play is Bo Nix did something that Jarrett Stidham could not have done. No offense to Jarrett Stidham. Russell Wilson never could have done. Some offense to Russell Wilson. And in fact, a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL probably would not have done. Let's go ahead and pull it up right now, and I'll let you talk us through it here, Pat.
Yeah, sure.
So watch Garrett Bowles on the left side here immediately. And you're going to see what play that went from what should have been a disaster and what could have been a disaster, what probably would have been a strip sack for Russell Wilson, for Jarrett Stidham, for a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL. Watch what Bo does.
So this is, just so everybody knows, this is 12 personnel. Okay, so we've got a running back here. We've got a tight end over here. And this is Nate Adkins over here, 12 personnel. Okay, we're in a trips set to the right side. Little uneven because we've got a Y over here, and this would technically be an F. And then what we're going to see, let's play this. We've got a guy outside of the Y. Okay, so he's super wide. This would be a 9 technique is what we call it. He is super wide, so that means Garrett is going to have to get deeper into
and
his
this
set.
This is already a bad.
He's already beat. He's already beat.
He's beaten. As soon as Bo Nix is catching the ball right now, Garrett is already beat on this play.
He's already
terrible pass set.
Hips,
slow feet.
Hips turned outside. This is not good. Like, this is no bueno. And then,
real quick, before anybody wants to say anything about the ankle injury, because LTB Muse mentioned it in the comments, like incoming comments about his ankle injury. Here's my approach to injuries real quick, Pat. If you are healthy enough to play, you do not get to use injuries as an excuse. And I said that same thing about Russell Wilson when he was saying at the end of his first year, like, oh, I had the lat injury, I had this, I had that. It's like, if you are on that field, you are playing, you do not get to use injuries as an excuse, because if you want to use injuries as an excuse for poor play, don't play.
Yeah.
Continue.
And guys' pride and everything goes into it, blah, 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 whatever. I just noticed this. Look at Bo Nix here. This is how we know we got one. Okay. Look at where his head's at. We've got a little bit of a play fake here. This is just this isn't play action per se. It's just a little show. Okay. But right there, where's his head at?
Oh.
His head is looking to the left. His eyes are right here. He knows Bulls got beat. He knows. And that's when he has to reset. So we get a little deeper, a little roll. Okay. Adkins is pushing in. He had to bail early. Okay. Is this a design
rollout, or is this okay?
Design roll, but he had to leave early. Okay. Now, oh boy.
This is bad. You never want to see your tackle running after an edge rusher 3 yards behind him.
This is a lot of fun by Bo Nix here, because
he doesn't have a guy open right here, Pat.
So he's looking. You can see this from the tight angle, but he was looking to hit either Reynolds or Sutton here coming across. Okay, and he's thinking about it right here. He's thinking about loading up and taking a shot for Cortland Sutton.
And that ball's probably picked if he's throwing that pass.
But hang on a second. What is that? That's a guy Supermaning, trying to take him out. Not today. Not on my watch. It's Bover for this guy. Okay.
Look at Garrett's body language. Garrett's body language is like, oh God.
I know exactly what Garrett. I know exactly what he was saying.
Thank you, Bo Nix, for saving my ass there.
10 years ago, I would have made that block, dog.
Sorry, Bo. Sorry about that, Bo.
Now, I will say, shout out to Quinn Miners and Luke Wattenberg here.
I wasn't in my GB zone.
For making a really good play here. Bo sees that there's an alley between his guard right here. This is a good block here. But his guard and his center, he can squeeze between these two guys. Okay. And he does. He does a great job. And these are great blocks after the point, and just scoots. He can scoot, man. Like, this was a great play by Bo. And juiced. Absolutely juiced. This kid is confident. He's oozing confidence.
The swagger here with the first down.
Now.
And he held it too. He held it for a little bit to make sure that they saw it. Hey, we got a question from the literal GOAT, Ryan Edwards. So you're going to field this, Pat. Great show, fellas. Thank you, Ryan. It's an absolute honor that you're taking time to spend with us. Can't tell you how much it means. How much can getting to the line earlier in the play clock help Wattenberg in identifying protections? I know I accidentally said cock. I'm sorry. It's a Freudian slip. If the goal is to help the players be better around Bo, this feels important. And I'm so glad that Ryan brought this up, because, Ryan, we hammered Sean Payton last week for this exact thing. Yeah. We crushed Sean Payton for this exact thing, because there were plays that they were not getting it in fast enough to the point where, Pat, you wanted somebody else to call the offensive plays. Yeah. So go ahead and field that question from Ryan. Sorry, I'll put it back up here. How important is that? Like, can that help Wattenberg?
Yeah, I think it could. Just from rewatching, like, I wish that Wattenberg would be a little more vocal. I feel like he's not as vocal. I feel like there's other guys on the line that are doing it. Like Quinn does it a lot throughout the game. You'll see him making out calls. And if that's the way they have it set up, more power to him. But I feel like the center should always be the one who is making those calls and those decisions, because really everything goes off of him. It goes off of where he is going. So I feel like he needs to be more vocal. But as far as getting to the line earlier, yes, absolutely. I think that could absolutely help with Wattenberg. It's just a matter of, is he making the correct calls at the line of scrimmage? Is he the one who is actually making these adjustments? Because if it isn't, that's a problem in of itself. But yeah, to answer your question, Ryan, yes, it could help him tremendously. I think it could help Bo Nix tremendously as well. But man, Bo was orchestrating out there. That was a lot of fun to see. He was definitely up at the line of scrimmage quite a bit, pointing out coverages, pointing out blitzes. So really confident. I feel really, really confident in Bo here. Man, it's the effort, it's the strength from Luke Wattenberg. And then there's been some miscues with protections and blocking schemes. And I can't help but think, like, how different would that be if we had a different person at center? Not even Alex Forsythe. What if it was a guy like Connor Williams? What if it was still Lloyd Cushenberry? Would we still be having these same problems? Probably not. So
probably not.
And I think maybe it will get better as the season goes along. You know, I don't love to be the pessimist. I don't love to hate on guys, people, but when you're putting that kind of product out on the field, I can't help but notice. My eyes are coach's eyes. I see everything. I watch a play probably 6-7 times in a row, and I'm just looking at every single dude. I'm looking at their body language. I'm looking at what they did post snap. I'm looking at everything. Go watch last week's full field read, and you can understand where I'm coming from.
You're built different, and that's why we have you on
Absolutely.
to explain this to filthy casuals. Kenny brings up a good point. This is my cousin Kenny. What's up, Kenny? Thanks for watching, buddy. Offense getting better is just going to complement the stout defense. Dark horse in the AFC, in my opinion, and that's an excellent point. As this offense gets better, and the thing is, like, if the defense continues to play this way, Pat, and I'm not saying they're only going to give up 7 points every single week, because that's not realistic. But the defense has been fantastic. The better that the offense gets, the longer that the offense is able to hold on to the ball. You don't like to settle for field goals, but as long as you're putting together drives, especially in the second half, that has been such a freaking bugaboo for this team ever since they won the Super Bowl. It's like the offense collapses in the second half. If the offense can just keep the defense fresh and keep them off of the field, that's only going to make the defense better. Mm-hmm. And the nice thing about the defense is, like, the majority of the time, if the defense plays like this, if the offense scores 20 points, 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals, you have 4 to 5 scoring drives for the offense throughout the course of a game, you will win the majority of your games. Like, you'll win enough games to make it to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's not something that's like, it's got to be in the back of Casey's mind. But, like, man, their interior fucking scares me. Their interiors. If I have to watch Chris Jones against Luke Wattenberg again, I'm going to be a really, really insufferable person on the timeline. I'm just letting y'all know that all 22 is going to be a murder scene. And
Carter's got everything figured out right here. Carter, I really appreciate you and love you. And if this was last year, I would agree with you. But I would put Bo Nix a little bit higher than me. If we were talking about Russell Wilson, then yes, this formula right here would work incredibly well.
Also, I want to point something out. I saw the clip that, we're going to get to this in a second. I want
you want to go ahead.
Well, we can leave it up. James Merrill saying this team would be 3-0 with Russell Wilson.
He just says something to say it, man.
Based on what? What have we seen from Russell Wilson this year besides him wearing his jersey and his eye black on the bench when he's inactive? What have we seen?
We saw that he was pushing a blocking sled, and his body is so fragile that he strained his calf, and now has been out a month.
The play that we just watched, that is a strip sack. If that's Russell Wilson,
100%.
That's a strip sack.
100%.
Like,
And honestly, the play that Bo Nix scored on, the rushing touchdown.
Oh,
I don't know if he scores on that, Pat. That kind of a play, Russell Wilson tries to force the ball in deep, 8-9 yards deep in the end zone to a Cortland Sutton or a Reynolds.
Yes, thank
that's
you.
That's what Russell Wilson is doing in that situation.
Cortland was coming across on the back corner, and Russell Wilson would have thrown that ball. It's either incomplete or it's picked off.
So I hate to dedicate any sort of time to that shit stain, and it's like he says things so people will talk about how stupid he is. So maybe he should be more worried about his wife running around behind his back. Maybe he should be more worried about that than his terrible sports takes. Everybody knows it happened. Okay, he's been exposed multiple times. It's like, yeah, maybe if you had better takes, then your wife wouldn't be cheating on you. I don't know. I have really good sports takes. My wife's never cheated on me. You have great sport takes, Pat, and your wife has never cheated on you. I bet the majority of the people in this channel, the majority of the people watching this show have really good sports takes, and their significant others never cheated on them. I assume.
Well,
can we move on from this? Can we move on from this twat waffle, please? He says things to piss people off because he knows he's being stupid, and we're playing into his hand, and it's okay.
You got Ryan.
But just know that if I ever see him in public, then there's going to be a problem.
Roll the tape. Roll the tape.
Yeah, we need a quick transition here.
So this will be another play that we're going to talk about. Now this went down as a negative for Bo, for me.
Ryan, I appreciate that, but I am not Jesus. Okay, don't give me that kind of pressure. Go ahead, Pat.
This is a play that we've seen a couple of times out of Sean Payton over the last couple of years. Okay. Now what they're going to show, pin pull. I love pin pull with a passion. I think that this is one of the sexiest plays ever created in the game of football. Okay. Now we're running fake pin pull, the little toss action. Okay. It's going to influence the whole line. Backers go, everybody goes. We're going to get cover, some form of cover too here. Okay. Mims. Oh, speedy. Troy Franklin. Also speedy. Okay. What the fuck is Garrett Bowles doing out here? I didn't even see this before, but what the fuck is Garrett Bowles doing down here? We're about 1, 2, 3, 4 yards away from the line of scrimmage. This could have been illegal man downfield. I digress.
Probably should have been. Well, he's still going. He tries to come back. What is happening here?
Okay. But he doesn't hustle. He is walking. This man is walking. Okay.
Were you setting up the clip for this, or did you just notice it?
I just noticed this because my eyes were on Franklin the whole time. This is a beautiful route by Franklin. Okay. And this is what I wanted to show. Now, everybody remembers my tweet from the draft when they traded up for Troy Franklin. And I said, oh, man, I like this pick, but I don't love this pick. I don't love the fact that they traded up for him. I don't like, what is his position going to be? He's too small to be an X, not physical enough to be like, what is it going to be? He's making a little name for himself. Okay. This is a great route. Now,
trying to prove you wrong, Coach Pat.
And hey, that's all I ask. Ask any of my players. I'll tell them, listen, I'm going to hound on you until you prove me wrong. Until you prove me wrong, I'm not going to shut the fuck up. Okay. Now, Mims has a deep post here, and Franklin sneaks behind these backers. Now, these backers aren't sinking fast enough. They don't understand what's going on. They don't have a feeling for what's going on. It's zone. Okay. He's looking back like, shit. There's orange. I see it.
Okay. The linebacker is flat-footed, and Troy Franklin is at full speed.
Now, McCollum, the corner up here, he's got to play his zone.
McCollum had a very good game, by the way.
Yes, he did. Very good game. I like him quite a bit. He was balling out.
Loved him coming out, yeah.
Now, this is cover 2, so he's supposed to be down here. He's getting back to his assignment. There's no one there. He doesn't see Troy Franklin either. Till about here. And then he realizes, shit, I gotta try and make up some ground here. Bo throws this late. I like the throw.
Just a hair too late.
just a touch
But
late.
it's a beautiful concept, though.
But you think, God, Bo had so much time. What happened? Why is this throw so late? This could have been a huge game. This could have been a game changer. What the fuck happened? Oh my God. Well, let's take a look at the type because I'm going to show you exactly what happened. Okay. Now, I love this. Adam Troutman just says, fuck it. I am going to block you and you're going to have to get through me. Okay. LJ does a similar thing. He's got to cut him off. Okay. We get Troutman pinning. Garrett's pulling, doing God knows what after. Look at where Bo's eyes are. Downfield, he's got to get up because he's got some pressure. That's fine. He steps up, eyes still downfield. What is he looking at, Mario?
That's so nice to see. The fact that his eyes are up is a welcome change.
Let's get sensual.
Okay.
Bo Nix, rookie quarterback. He's eyes downfield. Okay.
Yeah, he's got great eyes.
He's moving up in the pocket and he's got eyes downfield. Look at
he's moving my pocket, that's for sure.
Now,
he's
moving to the right, and where's his eyes? Still downfield. Now, that's when his eyes change. That's not okay. Russ just got sacked on this play. Thank you, Ryan Edwards. Thank you. Now, what is Bo Nix looking at here? Downfield. He's eye fucking that safety hard. He is eye fucking that safety so hard because he wanted Mims on the deep shot. That's where this was going. It was going to Marvin Mims, but he saw the second DB peel off and start to take the post. He goes, shit. Now I got to move off, go to Franklin. That's why it's late. Don't love the little hop jump there. Like that probably played a bit in it. Set your feet, son. Throw the ball. Anyways, that's what we got. A little sensual.
So, moral of the story is it's a hair off. It's little things. And I want to bring attention to this because I know we had discussed this. Pat wanted to show a play that did not go his way because by and large, Bo was incredibly sharp. He had control of the offense. He looked comfortable. Yep. 0 sacks, very few pressures. He manipulated the offensive line the way that you want to see. But there is still room for improvement, obviously. And this is the kind of play that you hope as a Broncos fan. We had someone ask, David asked, is it okay to have some optimism? It's been such a long time. Yeah, for reasons like this. I think this is a play that he hits on, Pat, midway through the season. He's still going through these growing pains. He saw Franklin just a hair late, and it's like, maybe he gets it off just a half second sooner the next time that this happens, and instead of being incomplete, that's a 30, 40-yard gain. And honestly, it was a dime, but the timing was just a little bit off. So, David, I think that absolutely there is cause for optimism.
That's a shot.
So here's the thing. A question that I want to ask you, Pat, and this is a good jumping off point from the play that you just showed. The performance that we saw from Bo Nix as a whole on Sunday, is that closer to his floor or his ceiling in terms of broad scope of work? Because if that's his ceiling, you're going to be a 500 football team. You're going to have clean games. You'll win maybe a little bit more than you lose, but it's not really going to put you over the top. Now, if it's his floor, and that's damn near the worst kind of performance that you'll see, or that's kind of the baseline of what you will see, then I think there's cause for a lot of optimism there. So where do you see it? Where does that performance rank on the scale? Closer to the floor, closer to the ceiling?
I want to say that's closer to the floor. I feel like he just did a lot of really good things. He managed the game extremely well. He was hitting his quick hitters very well. The 2-minute drill, yes, he does need to be adjusted by Patensi therapy, as do I.
We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen.
he was operating the offense really well. The 2-minute drill was a thing of beauty. Watching that happen live, I was just sitting there like drooling, because this is an offensive coordinator's dream. You have a quarterback who can go out there and execute a 2-minute drill like that. Are you kidding me? Give me that every time.
That is the most important situation for a quarterback in football.
It is.
Pat. Can you run the 2-minute drill and move the ball and get points?
Yeah, and I think, like, yes, I think this is closer to his floor. We're only 3 games in, but this is a big reason to have optimism. He almost threw, I think, 2 interceptions in the game. Okay, that's something that we need to work on. Okay, and he forced some throws in the first game, forced some throws in the second game. That's okay. Hey, we're learning from that. Okay,
as long as you learn from that, it's okay. You can't keep making the same mistakes.
And he had one throw that was like that was really, really not a good throw. Probably should have been picked off. Jamel Dean has, butterfingers, whatever you want to say. This is the reason he's a DB. That's the funniest thing that I always thought of. But he just looked efficient. He looked extremely efficient, moving the ball with his legs when he needed to. The QB sneaks were beautiful. Shout out to Frankie Abbott, who pointed out that those were CFL QB sneaks. Very classic. Dive the guards. Center goes underneath. Quarterback chooses a gap. Okay. And I just feel like this is not the best of Bo Nix that we're going to see this season. Probably not the best of Bo Nix that we're going to see in the first half of the season. I think it's going to be I think it's going to get a lot smoother. And the whole play calling thing, I still think that Peyton, if the problems continue with him being shaky, as Chase Daniel called it on the mic, like, that's a worry for me. It's still a worry for me. You want your offensive play caller to be very confident in what they're doing. Oh, Nate Hackett just joined the chat. Hell yeah. Hey, buddy.
It's Nathaniel Hackett hate week. We almost forgot.
Hey,
before
we get into the Jets chat,
his face looks like a butterball turkey.
I can't even say this. I can't even say this with a straight face. Before we get into the Jets talk, let's be clear about something. Aaron Rodgers is the offensive coordinator for the New York Jets, not Nathaniel Hackett.
Nathaniel Hackett is a drinking buddy. It's just it's Aaron Rodgers' friend that he wanted to have.
What did I say
in New York with him?
What did I say in the group chat earlier? Nathaniel Hackett. Hey, Aaron, I think we should run. And then Aaron's just in the mic. You need to shut the fuck up. That is the relationship. But yes, I think this performance was closer to Bo Nix's floor than his ceiling. I think it's going to get a lot better. Sean Payton will get a little more calmed down once he takes 1 or 2 more perkies. I think it'll be. Allegedly. Chop him up. Allegedly. Did you just do the sketch? Did you just?
I don't know how to chop up Percocet. Is this not how you do it?
We're not going to talk about this on this program.
Really quick before we talk about the Jets game, DeAndre is saying put McGlinchey at left tackle, Forsythe at center. What do y'all think? Honest to God, DeAndre, I think if things continue the way that they're going, and Pat has pounded the table for this, it's like they see this film. All of this film and all these things that Pat is telling all of you, they see this and more. They are well aware of the struggles that are happening. So unless there's a monumental shift in what we're seeing at center and at left tackle, not only do I think it's a possibility, I think it's a probability. I think that Garrett Bowles could be on the trade block. Maybe there's a contending team that needs a left tackle. And I think that's something that the Broncos are going to have to consider. Now, McGlinchey's going to be out a few weeks. We'll see if Palczewski continues to hold up the way that he has.
Yeah.
But when we get to that trade deadline, I think that's something that is a very real possibility to happen.
What could we get for Garrett Bowles right now? Like, let's say we get to the trade deadline, and I don't know how many games it is till the deadline. What, 9? is it 9 games played? 4th rounder for Bowles? Absolutely not. Not now. He's damaged goods at this point. We'd be lucky to get
if someone offers you a 4th rounder, because here's the other thing.
I mean, if someone offers, you take it.
He's like, this is a contract year for him. He's a free agent after this year. Like, are you extending him?
No.
Are you extending him just because? No. Or are you actually going to draft an offensive tackle in this draft?
I'll sign it. I'll sign an offensive
rounder that you absolutely take that. We'll talk more about that, but give me a quick preview of this Jets game, Pat. What is the biggest thing that this team needs to do to build on what they did in Tampa Bay? They're staying on the East Coast. We'll see how that works out. They're out in Virginia right now at some lavish place.
Virginia.
It's bold. West Virginia. Yeah, they're all East, North Virginia, whatever. It's, people are racing.
Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yeah, and it's a whole thing out there. Anyway, what does it need to do against? Isn't their thing? Isn't it almost heaven, West Virginia? Isn't that their state slogan? And it kind of makes me think, like, if that's almost heaven, wouldn't you rather take a look at hell? If it's West Virginia and then heaven's like right here, and that's almost like
nobody wants to go to San Jose, California, Mario. Nobody wants to go to San Jose.
It's just not it's not a glowing review of heaven, if I'm being perfectly honest. Anyway, they're over there on the East Coast in West Virginia. They will be in New York on Friday, I assume. When they get there, when they play on Sunday, how do they slow down Aaron Rodgers? How do they somehow mitigate Quinnen Williams? How do they score points on this Jets defense? Coach Pat, I'm going to need you to break it down. How are we winning this game on Sunday? And are we?
Well, how? You're going to need to pray. Okay. Yeah. You're going to need to pray really, really hard and long.
I'm going to be busy praying that heaven's nothing like West Virginia, but I'll try and fit it in.
What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to slide. You're going to have to slide your protections quite a bit. You're going to have to get Luke Wattenberg off of Quinnen Williams or whoever is in that middle, because that defense is just nasty on paper. You're going to have to get the run game going. This cannot be another week of non-efficient
less than
runs.
3 yards per carry from Jaleel McLaughlin and Javonte Williams. Both are averaging under 3 yards a carry. Yeah. You know who's not? The artist formerly known as Beatty.
Yeah, Tyler Bidet. The offense is just going to have to play almost perfect football. That's what it's going to have to be. Oh, I was just playing this because I was just trying to see what their third down packages look like. This is a little taste. This is a little taste.
You were plotting it up. It's okay.
It's fine. This is a little taste of what you'll get on third down. This is a 3rd and 9. Okay. This is a third obvious passing situation for New England here. They come out and empty. They've got the H here. I think this is Quinnen Williams right here. This will give me fucking nightmares for the next few days right here. Yep. Because if this is Luke Wattenberg, I'm going to end it live on this stream. Okay. Because
we don't promote that here.
That's a great rep by the center there. But is Luke Wattenberg doing that? No, he's not. But this is a really
you're gonna have to double team Quinnen Williams all game, aren't you?
You might have to, but when they come out like this, look at the tackle here. Boy, that looks similar, doesn't it?
That looks I was going to say that looks very familiar.
That's a fun pressure to have to deal with and look at, because they bring one and then they bring another one late. I mean, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pressure.
You know that this is the kind of pressure that they're going to send at Bo Nix.
Yes, hot. Bo's going to have to hit the hot every third down. Hot right now. Hit it, please. Quick game. It's going to have to be there. Aaron Rodgers, unfortunately, is killing it under pressure, so that's going to be really tough. Honestly, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to push the pocket. Patriots might have the worst offensive line in the league. Yes, Ryan, they might, but their center is playing better than Luke Wattenberg is right now. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
Ryan, you handsome
Ryan's
son
got a
of a
good.
gun.
Ryan has a very good point. That offensive line is abysmal.
Those
But
are the only kind of points he
it's
has.
still like Robert Saleh is going to do a really good job of bringing pressure. However, outside of that, they run a ton of cover 3, which is, you know what, we can work with that. Sean has some really good concepts for called for cover 3, but if they go man, that's when we're going to have to worry a little bit. But I'm really liking the fact that Peyton's using Mims and Franklin a bit more in some of these sets. I know people were all worried about it, but he's using them a little bit more, so you got a little bit of speed out there. Josh Reynolds has looked really, really good. So that's hopeful. And Cortland had a pretty good game last week. I still have so many gripes with Cortland Sutton and just the receivers in general. Like there's still no sense of no sense of urgency getting off the ball. Really ticky tack, like fighting through contact. If I don't see Cortland Sutton just bench press Sauce Gardner in this game, I know some Jets fan is going to take that and like, look at this.
Sauce is better than Pat.
If I don't see
he
Cortland
gave himself
Sutton,
his own nickname. Who does that?
If I don't see Cortland Sutton bench press Sauce Gardner in this game, I'm going to be fully out on Cortland Sutton. I'm just gonna have to say that I'm gonna be fully out. I have never seen a guy.
You want to see Cortland bully him a little bit.
Yes. You are 6'4", 220, bro. What are we doing? Why are you letting fucking like 6 foot, like 190-pound corners hold you back in routes? In the Pittsburgh game and in the Tampa Bay game, both happen. Like they get an arm on him and all of a sudden he forgets how to move his arms. Pump your fucking arms, dude. You're an NFL wide receiver. This is shit that we teach in high school. Like it pisses me off. Get off the ball. When the ball is snapped, you should be out of your fucking stance. The tight end, Troutman, should not be out of his stance quicker than you are. And if it's a thing that's taught and called in their offense, fine, whatever. I'll shut the fuck up about it. But it's fucking up the timing of the offense. And in a game like this where a team's going to bring you a ton of pressure, you cannot afford to waste milliseconds. It's free real estate. Got to take it.
Do they win this game?
I don't know. It's going to be really hard. The run game for the Jets is really explosive. It's really good. Breece Hall is fucking balling. Braylon Allen is a dog. I wonder who saw that coming. And the receivers are playing really well. Like I said, Aaron's doing really well against pressure, but they also have some injuries on that offensive line, so there could be some opportunities. I really liked what I saw from the Broncos defensive front. Zach Allen's going to have a field day. Jordan Jackson, get him in there, please. Dondre Tillman, let's get him off the edge. But Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, dude. Like
we tried to tell people about Tillman, by the way, Pat. We tried to tell people during training camp. We said it over and over again. People didn't want to listen. And they looked up and they're like, "Who's number 92? How does he have 2 sacks?" I should have listened to Mile High Mario and Patrick Chiodo, man. They know their shit.
Do they win this game? I don't know. I think I see it being like 21-13 Jets at the end of the day.
Like what Kenny said, to be fair, that's the first time we saw the Jets offense play as well as they did. And yeah, that's true. And granted, they did it against the Patriots. We don't really know what to think of the Patriots because they beat the Bengals, but like the Bengals aren't very good. Their defense we thought was good, but they were absolutely gashed. So it's like, I think that's a good point. The Patriots are not a good measuring stick for like how good a team is. And I think the Jets are still in that. They're still they're still in this process of figuring things out. Like, and I think it's good that they're getting the Jets early because I feel like if you're getting Rodgers later in the year, that's going to be a tougher pull. Like as he gets more acclimated, as he gets more comfortable with this offense, he's still leaning really heavily on Allen Lazard, who's like maybe the 4th best pass catcher that they have. But like you said, Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, their running game is fantastic, but is that offensive line going to be able to hold up? I want to pick the Broncos and say that they're going to win, but the thing is, when we do our picks on the Let's Talk Broncos network, when I pick the Broncos to win, they lose. When I pick them to lose, they win. So I'm going to say that the Jets win in order to keep that juju going. You know what I'm saying? And I will be there, and I will be vlogging the whole thing, and you're going to get a firsthand look at everything that goes on at that game 2 days after it happens. You're welcome.
Put the comment up. Put the comment up from Kenny.
There it is.
Well, the play, yes, but the comment by Kenny. The system comment.
Which one are you wanting to see?
The system comment. Put the system comment up. This is still the first season Rodgers is playing with the system. This is Rodgers' system. This is the same offense.
System, Kenny.
This is the same offense that they ran in Green Bay.
It's everything that Aaron Rodgers wants to do.
Like, look at, and this is a prime example. This is going to be play act. They're faking stretch outside. Okay, so this is outside zone fake, and then they're going to get a layers play on the backside. Okay, this is classic Aaron Rodgers shit. Okay. There's your stretch. Split stretch. This is diabolical work because that is a wide receiver right there. They had a tight end over there, and they have I think it's a tight end right there. This is diabolical work. This is the same shit that we saw A-Rod run in Green Bay. This is the same
he doesn't need to set his feet. He doesn't need to square his shoulders.
Knows where the ball's going immediately. And this is layers. Look at this. So this guy's going to run out here. He's going to run deep, run it off. This guy's going to run. I think that's Lazard. He's going to run straight across. So you get 1, 2 to 3, and then you've got a clear back here. Love to see it. That's what we're going to be looking forward to. A lot of that, a lot of outside zone, a lot of stretch. They're going to try and pound the ball, probably not through the middle because I think they have some injuries there. But this is an outside zone team, man. This is the same offense that Aaron Rodgers has been running in Green Bay for a long time. Yes, and he still needs to build with them. Yeah, absolutely. And that is the part where, yes, that still needs to happen. The meshing still needs to happen. They've got a lot of new faces. That's fine. Is this a PS2 game? Every game's a PS2 game, my boy. Not until the PS3 comes out.
Just because he's not getting picks doesn't mean it's not a PS2 game. Mike Evans is still a top 10 receiver in the NFL. Pat Surtain gave up 1 catch. He himself, when Pat Surtain was guarding Mike Evans, still a top 10 receiver in the league, and a guy that Pat told me he was really excited to go up against, absolutely shut him down. And you can bet that he will be on Garrett Wilson the majority of, if not the entire game.
He will be. And that's the way it should be. Before we get out of here, last thing about the Tampa Bay game. I loved late in the game. PJ got some penalty. I'll have to go back and look at what it was. But PJ got some penalty, and Mike Evans dropped the ball on this particular play and saw the flags fly. And first thought was, oh, my God, they really called PS2 on some bullshit ass. Like he Evans turned and Pat like just went like that, just like tugged his shoulder a little bit. Nothing, like absolutely nothing. Hits Mike Evans in the hands and it goes through his hands. And he sees the flag come and he's like, yeah, I got one. No, both penalties were on PJ. You dropped the fucking ball, my boy. Locked down.
When you start celebrating penalties as a receiver, you've been strapped the entire game. Patrick, anything burning a hole in your brain that you want to get out before we move on with our day?
Man, you hit the Zach Stevens.
Kid's
been doing the strap for a long time.
How toxic are you going to be when Alex Forsythe eventually becomes the starter?
I'll be unbearable on the timeline. I will be unbearable on the timeline. I will be tagging every single person that hopped into my mentions. I call them the Watton Truthers. I'll be tagging them. Hey, you there? I just want to make sure that you're still there. He got benched. I'll be there.
Quick topic wasn't no receiver concern. Are you guys satisfied at that position? I'm
No,
satisfied
I'm
for
not
now.
satisfied.
I mean,
I'm not.
it is what it is. I think it's getting better. I think the biggest problem is like, Cortland Sutton is their wide receiver one. I don't think that he's a true wide receiver one. I think he's an excellent wide receiver in the correct scenario. They just don't have enough. They are lacking playmakers right now. But if they're getting Mims more involved, if Troy Franklin continues to grow, if they get Devon Vele back, I think that would make me feel better. But it's not the best wide receiver room. So it's like it's fine right now, but it needs to be better.
Frankie, Robbie, and I were talking this morning, and we were talking about tight ends, and Frankie said, "Man, I was really wrong about Lil Jordan," and I was like, "I mean, yeah, he's basically a glorified tight end, right?" And I said, I mean, honestly, we could have probably just parted ways with Greg Dulcich and kept Lil Jordan Humphrey in that same role and kept a guy like, I don't know, Michael Bandy. Tim Patrick. Like Michael Bandy. Michael Bandy with these choice routes. Oh my God. He makes people look stupid.
I was really wondering if we were going to get to talk about Michael Bandy. Thank you so much, Pat.
I'm sorry.
For fulfilling
the
dream of talking about Michael Bandy.
I'm just thinking about people who can make plays.
I think we got to end it on that. I think we're good. My name's Mario Vitanzi. That's Patrick Chiotti. We are the Mile High Meatheads. This is Altitude Adjustment. We'll see you next week. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit